Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently getting the influence that we need to put our plan into effect. And what plan is that? Well, I've already outlined it several times, but let's go ahead and go through it one more time here just to make sure that everybody's on the same page as to how this is going to go. The idea here is that we can conquer the rest of the galaxy in 2 wars. One war would be here against the Hadadeshian Guardians. We will need to make claims on all of their territories for about like 270 influence, something along those lines. I forget the exact number, but it's something along those lines. And then we can also make claims on the Azantian Assembly here, who has a defensive pact with the Corellian Foundation. So we would declare on the Corellian Foundation to vassalize them. That would end up vassalizing the Great Zadran Mandate, as well as the Corellian Foundation and the Kingdom of Yonderim. Then the Azantian Assembly would be fully annexed by us because we have claims on them, and at that point, I believe that we would have full control over the galaxy. That's the belief anyway. The only thing is these 3 stars, this star here, and this one out here. Those are the only things notwithstanding with that plan, as far as I'm aware. So that should be absolutely great. We're going to need to bank up some influence for that. And while we're doing that, we are working on getting some additional fleets built up. We're not going to be waiting on these fleets because we really don't need them. But as long as we're waiting on influence, we might as well do it. Now, we are negative on energy credits right now, and volatile motes and exotic gases. Why volatile motes? That's new. I don't think we have any bad edicts up. Let's double check that. Nope, that's all good. Okay. So in that case, we should definitely get some exotic gas, volatile mote, and energy credit production. Our unity is also concerning. Don't get me wrong. We'll figure out what we want to do with that. So let's go through our jobs here real quick while we're waiting. We may as well be ticking forward. This Forge world requires housing. Okay, we'll build an industrial district there. That doesn't really help any of our current economic issues. Anything else here? Well, we've got this industrial world.
We have encountered some manner of space-borne beast.
I would not mind putting in like a chemical plant here. That would produce 2 volatile motes. Okay, for now that's fine. What else do we have in here? This factory world requires a planetary administration. Okay, that looks good. We needed housing on this factory world. Okay, fair enough. We'll just put in a city district for right now. That'll do for the moment. Anything else?
The conquest of a new world.
This research station here. I wouldn't mind putting in an exotic gas production here. So an exotic gas refinery. There we go. We'll go ahead and put that in. That will help. Now we've got this Forge world here. I'm actually going to designate this as a refinery world. And we're going to put in 1 more exotic gas refinery. We're also going to put in a chemical plant. Okay. There we go. Anything else that we're going to do here? We're going to need some more volatile motes for sure. This colony requires housing. Okay, we'll just put in a city district for the moment. That'll solve that problem. We've got a colony here. This colony, actually, a Betharian power plant is really nice here. We'll go ahead and put that in. We'll put in a monument and a gene clinic. And we're also eventually going to want an energy grid here. For the moment, I'm going to build up a bunch of those districts. There we go, a bunch of generators and 1 single city district to unlock a building slot here. And we'll go ahead and designate this as a generator world. Cool. So that will help offset our current energy deficit. What else do we have going on here? A Forge world here. These luxury residences are actually not necessary here. I'm going to get rid of those, and we're going to put in a volatile mote production facility, a chemical plant. There we go. That'll do. Will that put us positive on our volatile motes? I believe it will. Cool. So that looks good. What else do we have in here? I saw one that was lacking a housing, but I think I accidentally passed it. Let's go ahead and put in here an additional volatile moat and chemical plant production facility. So that will be an exotic gas refinery, just to make absolutely sure. Cool. And then those are all being colonized. So let's go back up. There it was. This industrial world. Cool. So this needs work. We'll put in a city district just for the housing. Excellent. So that should do the trick there. We're at 150 influence right now. I want to grab the 32nd Fleet. We will continue to reinforce that. And we're continuing to lack the alloys to get this fully maxed out, but that's fully expected. So at this point, we need to be planning for attacking the Hadadeshian Guardians, right? And the question is, how many locations are we going to attack here? Well, we can attack Ziv immediately. We can attack Hasala immediately. We can attack Halamar immediately, Skotika immediately, Kajabus, and Hizar, and Impaltov. We can attack literally every single one of these systems simultaneously at the start of the war. So that will be the plan in that case. Definitely, that will be the plan. So, with that being the plan, we're going to need to get in position for that. We have the fleets for it right now. No problem there. So we're going to position one fleet here. We're going to position a second fleet here. So that will attack these two. Then we're going to get the third fleet in position to attack Impaltov. Right there. The 7th fleet is going to position to attack Hizar. The 6th fleet to attack Kajabis. So that's these two under control. So now all we need is Skotika and Halamar, in theory. So the 9th fleet will go here. And the other 9th fleet that is not confusing at all is going to go to Halamar. So they're going to be in position to jump to these locations very quickly. And we're just going to immediately overwhelm them, and this war will be over very, very swiftly. We did queue up additional armies. And I'm not sure where our armies are in here. I think they're not showing up in the outliner again. That's fine. We know that they're here. So it's completely okay. Surveyor has been activated. Sounds good. We're going to continue to reinforce this. We know that we need like another 100 influence, so that's going to be like 20 more months, something along those lines. It'll be a bit. No doubt about that. That'll take some time. Oh, there's also Enigma's End here that we would need to grab. So that would be a total of, what, 5, 6 systems? But I'm not too concerned about that. We'll probably not worry about it. We'll be influence limited. This one's going to cost 1,000 influence. One of these is going to cost how much? Yeah, that's not in range of the jump drive. We would need to go down to a different construction ship to find out. As a well, actually, like this one. As a hypothetical. Yeah, I know it's not in range of the jump drive. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's going to cost quite a lot. And then these two would cost like 67 each. This one would cost quite a lot as well, like a couple hundred, bare minimum. And then, so we'd be looking at, I would guess, at least 2,000 to get all of this. So that would be a lot. No doubt about that. It would be a lot less if the Ubzant were integrated by then. That's 529 months until the Ubzant are integrated. So the odds on that are low, let's say. Very, very low. So we're in position here to attack these areas. And it should be absolutely fine. We're not quite ready to declare this yet because we need to claim all of these systems, right? That is step 1, and we need to load up our claims menu here. Once that's properly loaded, things should go much better. There we go. And we're just going to take a look here. Okay, so we're lacking 22 influence here. My numbers were a little high. That's good to know. So we're now officially 4 months away from launching this. Beautiful. We'll keep an eye on that, but for now, let's come on down over this way and make sure that the 32nd Fleet is fully reinforced. That is now at full strength, so we're going to grab that. I believe we need to recruit a new admiral here. Yeah. I don't really care who we recruit, so Jessica Renard will be fine. And head on over to Seoul. Beautiful. How many more fleets do we have here? 10. Okay, that's going to get us pretty close to our naval cap once these are all maxed out. Pretty close indeed. So for now, we can take the 33rd and start to reinforce that. Already at full strength. Oh, we have not yet done it in the fleet manager. Okay. So we've got the battleship. We need cruisers, destroyers, frigates, and corvettes. This needs to be up to 7. And then this would be 11, complete. 25, 50, and 60. Beautiful. And we'll go ahead and get that reinforced. Half of it anyway. So that'll be completely fine. We've got all of these fleets in reserve here. And we've got all of the fleets that we need to attack up here. Should be completely and totally okay. We're seeing that we're at minus 1k energy credits. That is rough. For sure. We can stay afloat. But we're probably going to want to go through here. We could do an edict, but... Oh, there's this industrial world here. We could put in generator districts here. These generator districts would, well, generate things. And they would work towards giving us both jobs and housing and work on our energy credit deficit. This is set up as an agri-world. It will not ultimately be an agri-world. There's no Betharian power here, correct? Correct. So we'll just put in an energy grid, and I'm going to max out our generator districts here. That'll be fine. This Forge world needs a planetary administration. That seems okay. And we'll just continue going through here and see if there's any other worlds to be transitioned into generator worlds. Because we definitely need the power generation. There's probably some trade nonsense going on, though, and I want to take a look at that in a moment. So this generator station here is fine to just max out the reactor districts. I think that's completely okay. We have a newly founded colony in Tuagawa. That's completely okay as well. Hang on. Oh, wait, it's right here. No, that's not it, is it? Tuayama? Was it in Tuayama? No. Okay. I shouldn't have right-clicked that. Whatever. It's okay. So let's take a quick look here. Achieved. Our primary expenditure is, of course, going to be on, I think, ships. Yeah, by far ships. So cell revitalization finishes up here. A big part of the reason why we're having this, then, is because we got rid of the Grand Fleet, minus 20%. So we're almost certainly going to want to get rid of that. Can we afford to get rid of numismatic visualization? No. No, we cannot. Okay. We could get rid of scientific revolution. I think that we're big enough that we don't need to run this anymore. So that will free up about 2,000 that we could put into consumer goods and energy credits. Okay, so what do we want to go for here? I mean, there is research subsidies here. We could go for industrial subsidies. Now, that didn't go through before the month tick. But if we did capacity and industrial subsidies, we're still going to be dropping our unity deficit by about... What would that be? About 1,000? 1,300. Okay, something along the lines of that. Now, forge subsidies are not the most efficient thing in the world. Nor are industrial subsidies. Let's see what we look like on this month tick. Minus 3k? Yeah, that's about what we expected. Okay. So what we really do need to do is get rid of a will to power, but we need to keep this on for a little while. Once we get rid of it, we'll have plenty of unity. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm definitely a little bit concerned about our energy credit situation here. Now, we can certainly make our claims on the Hadedeshi and Guardians and take them over, and I think that we do this. We do that right now. And then the question is, how much is it going to cost to do claims on the Azantian? A fair amount is the answer. So we're going to need to keep our edict up for now. But I think we immediately declare war here with the Conquer CB.
At last, to war.
And this is going to be a very, very simple war, right? I came down here in search of our army, but we're going to have to go down here because it's not showing up in the outliner. But that's fine. We're just going to tell these guys to go into Kajubis, and then these guys are going to go... No, I don't want to rename them. They're going to go into Hizar. These guys are going into Impeltov, and then we need to know which is which. These guys are going to Zif, and the others are going to go into Hasala. Beautiful. And then the 9th is going to go into Skotika, and the other 9th into Halamar. Beautiful. So if I can select these guys, there we go. And we can see that we're attacking all of them, and they have no chance. Literally 0 chances here. So in we go, and that's a simultaneous attack on every system that they have. Beautiful. A Ring World project. The Sarbaretan Imperium are working on that. Okay, good luck to them. We're bringing in our transport fleets here, and they can be grouped together. Beautiful. So, we're going to finish up these battles with their stations. They have 0 chance here. Excellent. These guys definitely need to begin sieging on one of these. Sky Temple is at 3170. Celestial Throne is also at 3170. So we're going to take this fleet that is not going to be tied up with anything, and they're going to start working on bombarding Celestial Throne. Over in Impeltov, these guys are going to start bombarding Impeltov 1. Actually, no, they're not. There is nothing there. Okay. We're going to move our army in, and we're going to land on Impeltov 1. Beautiful. So we need these 3 systems here to be finished up. These guys are done. Halmar 1 is at 528. We can begin that bombardment. We are not going to need additional help there. These guys can land on, or rather, start bombarding Skotika 3. We're not going to need additional help there either. So now we have a number of fleets here, these guys and these guys, that don't have anything to do. They're going to come over and help bombard at Sky Temple and at Celestial Throne. Cool. So this war is over, right? It's super over. They have no spaceborne assets. They are completely at our mercy, and we can just do whatever we want at this point. They are already eliminated. Cool. So no problem whatsoever there. We're going to land on Impeltov 1, and then we're going to start going around and landing on these lower bombardment areas, freeing up our ships to land in Hasala, or rather continue to bombard in Hasala. Now we're continuing to build up our influence, and we will need to do that. These guys are already done here. Yep, we're going to go land on Zif 1 at this point. There's very little to be done there. And then we're going to land in Halamar and Skotika. Both of those also have very little to be done. Do we need to reinforce any of our fleets? Possibly. We'll go ahead and do that. And then there's our one fleet that still needs to be reinforced. That's not shocking. Looks like they did take a little bit of damage. Hey, our allies are showing up. Cool.
Battle is joined.
What? There's a battle? Okay. I guess they produced an escort ship. Okay. Whatever. That's completely fine. So here we are landing on Zif.
Initiating ground assault.
Beautiful. These guys are now freed up to go bombard at, like, Sky Temple. Excellent. How are we doing on this invasion? Well, it's not going to go well for them. We're maybe going to suffer a loss or two, but it's not going to be anything major. We're not expecting this to be a very challenging war at all. This is just part 1 of our war. This is laying the groundwork for the real war, is what this is. We are going to have to deal with our energy credits, and I am wondering how many of our fleets that are here are not actually docked up. Let's go ahead and order all of them to enter orbit there, just to make sure that they're properly docked up, and that will hopefully help our economic situation. But we do have to remember that things are going to be very awkward. Very awkward indeed. When all of our fleets are fighting. So we'll head out over this direction and get these sieges done. I'm noticing that these guys are bringing in their Colossus. I hope that they're not planning on actually using it. I would rather just bombard these down than use the Colossus. That said, we wouldn't get the Malice, I don't think. So that would be interesting.
We have established a new planetary base.
Cool. We managed to colonize this area, so we immediately build a city district. We build a gene clinic. We build a monument. And I am noticing that gas extraction well. Might as well. We can build 2, but we'll build 1. Cool.
Initiating ground assault.
So these guys are now freed up. They're going to head over and begin work on bombarding Celestial Throne. Cool. How are we doing here? Oh yeah, we're absolutely fine. No shockers whatsoever here, of course, but that Xenomorph army might do some damage. Yeah, we're not hitting the Xenomorph army at all, and it's not affected by morale damage, so it doesn't actually help unless we kill it, or disengage it. But it's doing a lot of damage right now. No doubt about that. Cool. So, we're going to have it wiped out pretty soon. But it's definitely hurting us. My question is... Okay, you're just following the first fleet. Are they planning on actually using that Colossus, though? That is the question. The Xenomorph army is basically eliminated, but it did take several of our armies with it. No shocker there. Clone armies are cheap and expendable. So that's completely fine. We're going to head down into Scotica and land on Scotica 3. And of course, this is going to be a similar sort of scenario. Yeah, there's a Xenomorph hive here as well. I don't like our energy credit situation, but we can turn some of these planets, hopefully, into energy credit generators. I do want to check in on our trade. Okay, trade is not the problem. Noted. We're going to have to handle this before we go into our major war. We've also got the 26th fleet that is currently missing.
Initiating ground assault.
We'll just continue to reinforce that. Our fleets are no longer in need of reinforcement. Although the 26th is going to need to be upgraded, we're probably just going to get rid of it, to be honest. The 30th could use upgrades. We may as well. They're the wrong class. What else do we have here? Okay, that all looks good. So coming back up over this direction, these guys need to head into Hazala and continue to bombard Celestial Throne. Beautiful. How are we doing on Scotica? Oh, we actually focused down that Xenomorph quickly this time. I like it. That's very, very good. The Xenomorph was absolutely the threat there. So that's definitely the way to go there.
Our ships have been made superior.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have. But yeah, that ship's upkeep is definitely the hard part there. No doubt about that one. Okay, loader efficiency, sure. Let's go ahead and turn on the surveyor here. There we go. 7 trade value. Okay, cool. And we've just about taken Scotica.
Our warriors are victorious.
There we go. And now we're going to need to head up over this direction. And these are going to be a little bit tougher to invade. They're both at about 2,900 here. They're both taking full damage, but it's going to take some time to bombard. So they won't give us our achievement of war goals. They have 121 reasons not to, and that's fair enough. They will cease to exist after this, which means that we need to fully annex them. We also need to continue to bank up influence, so remaining in this war is not actually problematic for us at this point. Because we're mostly just going to be sitting and waiting for the influence anyway, right? So I feel like that's okay. The 33rd Fleet is fully built up at this point. So let's go ahead and recruit them in Admiral. And this guy is going to take them over to Sol. And we've got a number of additional fleets here to work on. So the 34th is, I guess, the one that we're going to do next. We will go ahead and get all of this in here. I want to just double check this. Yeah, we're still capped at 20 Titans. Okay. So 7, 11, and 25. There we go. 46 frigates. Okay, odd. We're going to take that up to 50 and 60. Cool. We'll go ahead and reinforce that fleet, and we'll let that continue. Okay, so we just need to wrap up these bombardments, right? And the bombardments are proceeding relatively swiftly. They're at 2,700, and there's not really a reason to attack them right now. We are not delaying our second stage of this war at all at this moment until we manage to get, let's assume 50 each. So that would be 100, 200, 300, 350, 400 influence. It's going to be lower than that. Did I count this one? I'm not sure I did. That would be like 450 influence. It's going to be slightly lower than that. That one's 35. Okay, so each of these are 35 up here. 35 times 3. This one is 35 as well, so 35 times 4. 35, 43. So that would be 35 times 6. And this one's only 26. Okay. Calculator. Come here, calculator. So we've got 35 times 6. That's 210. We've got then down here we have a 43. So plus 43. And then we've got a, let's see here. These are all 35s. This one's a 43. And then we had this one down here, which was 26. So we're looking at somewhere around 400. I probably counted that wrong, but we're looking at somewhere around like 350, 400, something like that. We're at 137 right now. We need to handle our energy credit situation. The proper way to handle that would be to turn on the Grand Fleet ambition. This would not be for the naval cap, but rather for the ship upkeep. That would be the idea. So we do something like this. This is going to put us extraordinarily negative in our unity. But we only need to run Will to Power for a little while longer. Can we afford to get rid of, probably not New Mystic Visualization. Let's see what happens on this month tick. Plus 1k? Interesting. So we definitely need to get rid of something down here, right? Omnifarious Acquisition, I don't think we can afford to get rid of. A Will to Power is necessary right now. I think for the moment we ditch Grand Fleet and we swap back to Grand Fleet a little later on. And we just know that we're going to run an energy credit deficit and we can sell off resources in order to keep afloat for a while. I think that's the way that we're going to go here. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to finish off the Hadadeshian Guardians and hopefully begin our work on the rest of the galaxy. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadowwolf, Mohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Rogue Corvid, Anna the Elephant, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.